Hi, I'm going to talk about what I think of the last concert that Kiss did and the avatars and all that. But before I do that, I want to say that when I was a young guy, before there was internet, there was a newspaper with listings of the groups who were performing, and I would look in the newspaper and I would see the groups, and if it was a group that I liked, I would mention it, and then if I could go, I would go. And there were some groups like that where I said, hey, I really want to see this group. So I was able to go. But the venues were not extremely close. So I treated the concerts as treats. And Kiss was one of those groups. So when I saw Kiss back long ago with the original members, I thought it was a great concert, but I didn't feel as if I needed to chase them around and to see them again. I felt like I had a great time and now I'm happy. I didn't feel like I needed to fulfill myself with Kiss. There were other groups that I wanted to see, and I saw, and I was satisfied, and then I felt like I didn't need to see those groups again. And the exceptions to the rule are groups that were local groups. Those I might see more than once because they were local. I could walk 5 minutes to the venue, and the price of the ticket was either free or buy a drink, and that was it. So I have seen some groups and performers more than once, but groups like Kiss and some other groups who are big name groups in big venues, I've been happy to see them once. Okay, now here is my assessment of what I saw of the last Kiss show. I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw some of it. And I think that it was not worse than any other concert that they did. I think that if someone's a fan of that style of stuff that they did during their last few years, you're going to be satisfied. It's going to be like a typical concert that has things that you want in it. So I did not think that it was bad. Okay, if you were to ask me in retrospect, would I have liked being there? Theoretically, if you're thinking you didn't see them back in the day and it was your only chance to see them, the answer is I probably would not have minded the energy of the people because they're happy to see Kiss. So I would have been okay with that. And I would not have been upset with seeing the show. But what I want to say is, we're talking if the tickets were like $20, possibly $30, no more than 30. I would have been fine with seeing them. I wouldn't have been excited to see them, but I would have been fine with seeing them. But from what I saw and the concerts, I thought it's typical of a regular Kiss show, and it was not less so. So I was not disappointed, but I was not excited. I felt like if you went and you loved it, then that's your experience, and I feel happy that you loved it. This video of me talking about it is for those people who want my opinion. So you can tell me how you thought of the Kiss concert, and I will be happy to have comments from people who have their opinion. For me, the issue was not whether or not original band members would show up or not. I figured they would not, and I can get into that after I finish this. But my issue was merely I saw them back in the day. And no matter what group it is, unless it's a group that's local, who come out after the show and I can meet them, in which case I will see those groups many times. Otherwise, to see a show, there's YouTube. If you want to see a screaming fan with their energy saying yay to your favorite group, why don't you pay someone to come over to your place and do a cheer for your favorite group? Pick someone who doesn't have a lot of money and needs to have a little cash. Say, hey, I want you to come to my house and cheer the group Kiss. You'll give me fun to see you dance and say, yay, Kiss. I'm sure there's people who want money to do that. You could pay them $5 or $10. They could shout out, yay, let's hear it for Kiss. Okay. So yeah, if you are so much of a fan where the only thing that you care about is the energy of the other fans, then why not meet up with other fans before the show? Why not go to the show venue, but don't pay a ticket? Instead, say, hey, I am a fan of this group. If you want to get together to talk about them, let's do it. So yeah. Anyway, I was going to say something about something else. I forget what I said I was going to say about, but if I get back to it, I will. If not, I won't. Anyway, the avatars. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think that people who think that Kiss ought to continue as real people, they have their points. I'm not going to say they're bad points, but what I'm going to say is I like cartoons. I like animation. I'm fine with it. I'm not going to go to a show and pay a lot of money for it. But I think it's an okay idea. Okay, I think I remember what I was going to say. The other thing about KISS members who were talking about the last show, like Ace or Bruce. Bruce didn't say a lot. He just said he wasn't going. But in the way that it seemed to me, when I saw the post, I thought that he said he wasn't going, but he didn't want to say more. So I don't know exactly his feelings about it, but I do think that he at least was willing to let people know that he wasn't going. So for that, I think he's commendable. I would see him live. I would not, again, see any other members on their solo tour who are ex-members like Ace. I thought he was great in the concert that I saw back in the day with Kiss. But I like to see bands who come out to the merch table after the show. From what I've heard, Ace acts blasé. I think it would not be worth it to go to see his show live. I think that if you want to see his show, watch YouTube. Because people think that, oh, we're going to a real live show, we're going to see a certain person or a group, and it's going to be great. And granted, I did see Kiss back in the day. I didn't think that I would meet them. That wasn't in my priority at that time. I was quite young. I was still in high school. But now, I'm thinking, I'm older. I realize that a lot of groups, they like to be separate from their fans. I am not saying that they should not be, but what I'm saying is I don't want to see those groups. And Kiss, and especially Ace Frehley, is one of them. I called the venue to find out first if Ace might show up. The venue didn't know whether or not he was doing a meet and greet and stuff, but I was almost willing to pay $20 more for the ticket than the maximum that I would pay for a show. But when I found that the meet and greet, if it was even going to happen, was going to be like $200, I'm like, I'm not there. I'm like, sorry, you might be a good performer, but you're not that good. You're going to also do some of the same stuff that you always do. You might do the heckle, heh 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 heh, and you might stumble around and act like you're drunk a little bit in order to make it seem like it's less like Kiss, but it's pretty much the same. I do not suggest people go to see Ace Frehley. I would prefer to see the avatars, but I'm not going to pay more than $10 to see them, because at least if the avatars are able to do interesting stuff that's a little less cliche than what the band does. And I don't like the song God Gave Rock and Roll to You, so I don't think that that was a good way to introduce the avatars, because otherwise it would be like a chef who wants to give you his best dish, but you're allergic to the food that he's giving on the first dish. It's not going to be a good starting point. But if it works out where they can do other songs with the avatars, I'm thinking it's going to be interesting. I can view it like I would view Pink Floyd's Planetarium, Dark Side of the Moon, and Dark Side of the Moon isn't even one of my favorite albums by Pink Floyd. I don't like it that much. I would prefer Wish You Were Here in a planetarium moment. But regardless, the planetarium moment or the avatar moment, those were things I thought, okay, those are interesting. So if Kiss does a moment of an avatar thing, I'm not going to go do a full show of Avatar because of the price and everything. But if it was $5 and it was within 10 minutes walking distance from my place, I might go. I don't know how long I'd watch it, but I'd be okay with it. I'm not going to say I'd be totally cheerleader enthusiastic about it, but I'm more so cheerleader enthusiastic than I am with the idea of seeing the actual group play again. You who like to go to tons of shows and see these groups, and to see them over and over again without meeting them, what sort of life do you have? Do you have a life where there's nothing else going on? If that's the case, I think at least if you're shelling out money on concert tickets and you're doing that, it's better than doing nothing. But I almost would say that staring at your wall and doing nothing might make you think of music or imaginative things, and you might start getting creativity. You might not need to focus on bands, but to focus on your own creativity. That's my suggestion, which you'll probably give a comment that's going to disagree with me. I'm fine with that. The thing I'm not fine with is, well, there's nothing that I'm not fine with. But what I'm not fine with is people who say, I'm not fine with this. If you're not fine with it, then okay. I'm okay with the avatars. I'm okay with Kiss finishing as a touring group. I'm okay with it. I'm neither ecstatic nor relieved. I'm like, I understand it. It's not the worst nor the best thing. I think what would make me happy is if Kiss did new music. It wouldn't matter what the makeup was on the members or whatnot. You can have the avatars do that. But at least make new music. Make new music for the avatars. Hey, why not? Okay. I've said what I could say. Take care, everybody. Bye.